Sometimes your wife reacts with fear, control, coldness, or intensity that seems bigger than the moment. You say something ordinary and she hears danger. You ask a question and she hears criticism. You try to lead and she feels controlled. You make a mistake and she receives it as proof that she can't trust you. Part of you thinks, I'm not her father. I didn't do this to her. Why am I paying for another man's sins? And that thought makes sense. A husband shouldn't be treated as guilty for wounds he didn't inflict. The danger comes when you only defend yourself and never understand the wound. You might win the point and miss the person. You might prove, I didn't mean that, while she remains feeling unseen, unsafe, and alone. Maybe she flinches from a tone. Maybe she assumes criticism where you intended correction. Maybe she tries to control details because chaos once hurt her badly. And those reactions can be wrong in measure, but they might also show old pain touching the present marriage. And if you're honest, you might start to harden. You might think, no matter what I do, she finds danger in me. And that thought can make you cold. It can also make you cruel because you stop seeing pain and only see accusation. Catholic marriage stands on truth, charity, justice, chastity, fidelity, and supernatural grace. A wound can explain a reaction without excusing sin. If your wife is contemptuous, cruel, dishonest, manipulative, or unjust, those things still matter. Trauma doesn't give a license against charity, but charity still requires you to see the person in front of you. If your wife learned early that men are unsafe, passive, explosive, absent, lustful, or unreliable, your ordinary failures might land with extra force. And you might think this is unfair. Sometimes it is. But leadership asks a better question. What can I do that is true, just, and healing without becoming false or servile? Most men take one of two bad roads. They attack the wound. You're just damaged. Or they surrender to the wound. I can never correct you. Both roads fail. The better road is compassionate firmness. If you only validate, you might lose truth. If you only correct, you might lose her heart. So the goal isn't for you to become an amateur psychologist. The goal is to become a more truthful husband. And you don't need to diagnose every wound. But you do need enough humility to ask, what's happening here that I haven't understood? And this is where many good men get stuck. They think compassion means giving up judgment, or that judgment means giving up compassion. But Catholic charity requires both. You can say that hurt you and also say that accusation isn't true. You can say, I want to go slowly, and also say, we still need to repair this. The wound deserves tenderness, but the marriage still needs truth. So first, separate the wound from the accusation. If she says you don't care about me, don't begin with a courtroom defense of yourself. Start here instead. I can see this touched something painful, but I care about you and I want to understand what this felt like. You haven't confessed false guilt, but you have opened a door. Next, you can speak truth without cruelty. Understanding a wound doesn't surrender the marriage to that wound. After you listen, you might need to say, I want to understand the wound, but I can't accept contempt. Or I'm willing to go slowly, but I'm not willing to be punished for things I didn't do. Or you can say, I can own my failure here without agreeing that I am the same as the man who hurt you before. So that's compassionate firmness. There's no harshness, but there's no cowardice either. Third, become predictable in repair. So wounded people often watch patterns more than speeches. If you say, I will be different, and then keep exploding, withdrawing, hiding, or using affection as pressure, your words lose weight. Choose one repair pattern and repeat it. When I'm wrong, I'll admit it without defending myself. When I need space, I'll give you a return time. When you're afraid, I won't mock it. When you are unjust, I'll address it calmly. If danger, addiction, violence, serious cruelty, or grave instability is present, get outside help. Forgiveness doesn't require ignoring danger, and charity might mean practical protection. If you become harsh because you are tired of being blamed, confess that too. Her wound doesn't excuse your sin either. Do this when both of you are calmer. If the moment is too hot, you can say, I want to understand why that landed so hard yesterday. And a delayed good conversation does more good than an immediate forced bad one. The next time she reacts bigger than the moment, don't begin with, here we go again. Just say, this feels bigger than what just happened, and I want to understand it without losing the truth. Then you listen, and then you speak clearly. Catholic husband isn't a therapist, and he's not a punching bag either. He's called to charity under reason. So he sees wounds without worshipping them, and he speaks truth without turning it into a weapon. Watch the video that comes up on the screen next, because this topic often connects directly to arguments, silence, and how a man leads repair without control. If you want help applying this to your exact situation, click the link in the description or the pinned comment to get KnowlandBot. You can message it and say that your wife reacted strongly and you don't know what to say. You can also leave a comment on the channel with your question, and I'll answer the best questions in future videos. Thanks for watching.